we want to help the bands to tour and all those bands that don't have resources and don't have managers and bookers, they can just come into the system, create their profiles, their tech writers, and find a huge database of festivals and venues that are craving for new talent.
Welcome to the Female Entrepreneur Musician Podcast with Bree Noble. Bree is a musician, entrepreneur, speaker, and founder of Women of Substance Music Radio and Podcast. Bree's interviews with successful female musicians and industry pros are both inspirational and informational. She also answers your questions about the music business. Bree is on a mission to help you create great music, connect with your fans, and grow your business, and to truly become a female entrepreneur musician.
Hey, this is Bree Noble, and you are tuned in to the Female Entrepreneur Musician Podcast, where we talk about making great music, connecting with your audience, and growing your business. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by my free Musician's Profit Path Masterclass, the 5-stage blueprint for creating massive growth in your fan base and sustainable income for your music career. If you feel overwhelmed by everything you think you need to do for your music career, or you've watched other musicians and tried to do what they're doing, but it hasn't worked for you, well, don't worry. That's why I created the 5 stages of music career growth. So you can figure out where you're at right now, learn exactly what you should be focusing on and what you shouldn't be focusing on so you don't waste time and money. I also give you benchmarks to reach in several key areas like live performing, fan base growth, social media, recording, and more. So join me for my free masterclass, The Musician's Profit Path, over at musiciansprofitpath.com. Free classes are running every day, so go register at musiciansprofitpath.com. If you listened to my last interview show released on September 3rd, 2018, I talked to Vanessa Ferrer, who started MerchCat, and today I'm talking to another gutsy female entrepreneur working in the music space, and that is Carolina Castilla. And when I say gutsy, wait till you hear her story about coming to the US to start a company from Latin America, totally from scratch, not knowing anyone, and how she used her grit and ingenuity to get it started. She is the founder of Massive Act, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. But basically, it was created out of a need that she had as a promoter and somebody that worked with bands and venues. She saw a gap in the market, and she decided to fill it with Massive Act. So here's a little bit about Carolina Castilla and her program, Massive Act. Carolina Castilla has been a music business entrepreneur for 16 years, working in the music industry as a manager, tour manager, PR and event producer, helping bands from Latin America, the US, and Europe. Previously, she served as the tour and hospitality manager for Depeche Mode, Coldplay, and David Guetta, general producer of Audio Engineering Society conferences, and managed the Grammy-nominated producer Joel Hamilton for Latin America. Carolina built a software platform that makes live music performances easy and accessible for musicians. Massive Act is a platform where musicians and industry professionals find intuitive tools, manage logistics and build tech writers, and revenue opportunities, booking, endorsements, and sponsorships, enabling everyone in the live music industry to achieve their career goals and have fun doing it. Here is my interview with Carolina Castilla. So that's a little bit about Carolina Castilla. So Carolina, is there anything about you that's a little bit different, quirky, unique, that's not in your bio that you think our listeners should know about you?
Oh my gosh, it's something that sometimes I say, sometimes I don't. Like when I moved from Bogota to Silicon Valley, I didn't have a network. I didn't know anybody. So I was just trying to recruit a team. So I went on Tinder and matched with every developer or UX, UI person. And when I got to these coffee shops, then I said, I don't want a boyfriend. I just want to build this system. With a PowerPoint, and then I got the third one was a musician, and he told me, I understand the value of this. He built a prototype, Lance, that is his name, and then with that prototype I was accepted in an incubator.
Oh, okay.
And then from there it was like to like very, very easy, like working with mentorship and all those things. But that is some kind of a curious anecdote of my life. I came here, I went to a lot of conferences, and like I said, oh, I'm a journalist from Latin America, and then I got free badges, but the system didn't have, like, I had the idea and the concept, but I could not put it in paper until I found Lance, and he says, okay, this should be the UX, and let's build this prototype.
Wow. So you were just meeting people at coffee shops. Did you put an ad in like Craigslist or anything
No,
like that?
no. I just went directly to Tinder. And
wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, I went and I saw guys, okay, UX, UI, or developer, and like everybody was very welcoming. I was like, hey, I just arrived here. I don't want boyfriends. I'm okay, but I need to build this tool. So, and then the third one was like, this is awesome. Let's build it. And
I have never heard of anyone using Tinder like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, so sometimes I don't say it, but when I was speaking for Google in the International Women's Day, and then I told the story and everybody laughed so much, and it was kind of fun. So I said, okay, I'm not gonna be embarrassed anymore about telling how I recruit my first prototype.
No, that's really smart, actually, but I certainly wouldn't have guts to do it. So tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get started working in music?
So I studied philosophy as a rebel in my family and in Bogota. And obviously my dad wanted me to be like a business administrator or, like a marketing lady. But I was kind of super punk. And then I was like, no, I want knowledge and understand human behavior and things like that. So while I was studying philosophy, I was throwing underground raves in Bogota mountains. But I was like 20 years old, so I was hiring DJs, finding abandoned houses and warehouses and doing raves.
Wow.
And then I got like a good amount of money, and with the time I was called to be kind of an executive for a recording studio that used to manage all the advertising and soap operas for Telemundo and Univision and big brands, and they were starting a record label in partnership with Universal Music. So I started managing tropical pop bands. So I was kind of like, oh, but I like electronic, like very radical. I need to listen pop all day long. But then I started to like the people that I was working with and start touring around cities and the US. And then we managed like 7 or 8 bands. And then we were record of the year, song of the year, band of the year. I was pretty young. Then like 3 years after or so, I told my family, okay, I know how to do this. I want to have my own company. I don't want to have a boss anymore. And my cousin opened for me a space in his office in Bogota, and 2 friends invested, and we incorporated a company. And one of those guys was the CFO for Microsoft for Latin America. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah. And the other one was business Latin America for Telefónica. And one of them found us to be the agency for activations for Xbox. So we did Guitar Hero, Rock Band, Lives, like tours. Like we made this truck that turned into a stage and did a tour around the country. And also we did like a soundtrack from the tap of Messenger. So it was a 360 campaign with like concerts, digital, a bunch of bands. I got the bands sponsored from Xbox, so they got games and consoles, so all the bands were super happy. And then I started to do everything that I could for artists, like launching albums, making videos, doing PR, managing producers. I also work with the Audio Engineering Society, organizing the conferences in Bogota and helping the conference in Uruguay for Audio Engineering Society. So I was pretty close to the sound engineering world. And then Live Nation started to do the big concerts in Latin America, like, I don't know, Shakira, Depeche Mode, Coldplay. And they wanted someone who spoke English to do like hospitality, tour management. And then I knew that Depeche Mode was playing in Bogota and I was super fan. So I went right away to the promoter and I said, I'll work there. I'll work for free, but just hire me. He told me, yes, okay, but he kind of ignored me. Then I was like a pink BlackBerry, like every day, hey, do you still need my help? I want to work. Then he contacted me one day before and I was ready to just clean the stage, whatever. And then he told me, no, you will be with the band. So it was amazing because it was my favorite band. And then he hired me again for more and more bands. So at that point, like, I don't know, like when you work with the people that you like, I was like, okay, I need to achieve something else. And I felt that Bogota was a little bit small for my dream. So I also lived in the top of a mountain, but the view of my house had like a mountain in front of my window. So I felt that I had like a wall. So
interesting.
Yes.
It was like a mental barrier.
Yes.
Wow.
And then some producers from London in New York asked me to work for them as manager for Latin America, and I could develop some relationships and make money for them and make money for me. So I said, okay, I kind of have a space internationally. So I decided to think about how to solve some problems that I had when I was manager. For example, I help a bunch of festivals to bring talent buyers and bookers from Europe and the US to South America for them to buy talent there. But I was noticing that every time we give them the EPKs or the profiles or the demos, those demos, after the musician was preparing the material for months, were left in the hotels because there is a heavy weight in the airplanes. So I was feeling very sad for my artists. I was like, why? But I understood the producers like, hey, I have 100 CDs here. I can't just leave these and just pay $100 or, overweight. So I said, okay, that is a problem. Second, I was seeing also every time that I had a band playing in a festival, all the technical communication was a mess. So how many cables you need? Are you bringing your drums? Do you need like keyboards stands? So that took like, 30, 40 emails, just a small festival, or just one email and then you arrive and then you don't have what you need. So I saw the second problem. And the other problem was like, okay, I was manager of a band and I was invited to play, I don't know, in Miami. But I said, okay, we pay some tickets to play in Miami. It would be awesome to find some other gigs, I don't know, in New Orleans, in other places. And having that database of venues to reach out or festival was impossible to find if you don't have like a very established booking agency. So I said, okay, I'm going to build this platform. Other problem that I saw was that one of the biggest festivals in Latin America, I think is the biggest one free for the crowds, is called Rock al Parque. It's a super cool festival because it's sponsored by the government. And they pay the bands. They have this huge venue. It's like, 300,000 people in a weekend. So for Bogota or Latin American bands, it's kind of a milestone to play in Rock al Parque. But apply to Rock al Parque is go be in the line and leave in a garbage can in a folder with 3 CDs, the tech rider, and I thought that process of the application was very archaic. So I added that to the fourth problem to solve. And then when I moved to Silicon Valley, and then I got the mentorship and the incubation, found the team, not on Tinder and AngelList, and LinkedIn, and we built the system and we launched in January, and like my life is pitching and pitching. A cool thing that happened in the incubator is that the incubator has 40 companies, and 4 of the CEOs of other companies incubated saw me working and they gave me money. So they invested in the company just to see my work ethics. Most of it, the first 2 years that I worked Sunday to Sunday, like 24/7 in the company. So that is something cool that happened there. And now we build the system. We have almost 1,000 users. We launched like 3 or 4 months ago, and now we are preparing our own tour and help. And we want to help the bands to tour, and like all those bands that don't have resources and don't have managers or bookers, they can just come into the system, create their profiles, their tech writers, and find a huge database of festivals and venues that are craving for like new talent.
Wow, that's an amazing story. And I love that you created this platform to solve several problems that you saw like on the ground that you were dealing with when you were helping with bands. So I'm curious, because I think, many people in the industry know of sites like, say, Sonic Bids or, other sites where you can do similar things like this. How are you guys different from, say, like a Sonic Bids, where you can go put up your EPK and you can do a lot of the things that you have available?
So the problem with Sonic Bids, and I was fan of Sonic Bids, but I think our algorithm, depending on the information the band uploads, recommends festivals. So we did exactly. So we analyze the stage of the life of the band. Like, okay, it's a beginner, it's a touring band, or it's a famous band. Like, we have several stages. Depending of what the stage of your career, you have 1 album, 2 albums, 3 albums, or 4 videos, you have 3 tours, the system recommends to the festival these artists match with your requirements. What happens with Sonic Beats is that sometimes bands of, let's say like 2 or 3 years ago, I don't know if this year, I think this year they didn't do it with South by Southwest, you have 20,000 bands paying $45, and I think only 1,500 bands just are chosen. So you have like 18,000 bands like saying, okay, where are my $45? So we've been like very, how do you say, cautious in the monetization strategy. For now is for free, but we want to really give the tools for them to grow, not just like, okay, I have this festival and I'm gonna make money with you. So if the artist doesn't want to play to a festival, they can just export the EPK, or just can make the tech writer, or just hire the crew, like sound engineers, promoters, bookers, VJs, or whatever they want independently, while Sonic Beats is a little bit more restrictive in the usage of the platform. And the difference with Reverb Nation, that Reverb Nation is a tool that I love, is that Reverb Nation is more fan-facing and promotion, and the aggregation to have all your music in the digital platform. For us, it's more like a back office. Okay, communicate with your promoter, communicate with your festival, and show them how you stand on the stage, and like hire your technical crew, like tour like a professional. And Reverb Nation and Sonic Beats are more like a promotional tool.
Oh, that's absolutely true. And that's a good point, that this is more like, okay, you're at this professional level and you want to communicate. I like the idea of it being a back office. That makes a lot of sense. So as far as like the festivals that you get onto your platform, do they have to pay to be featured on Massive Act? And, eventually, like, how are you going to monetize this?
So this is a great question. So we want to be the hero for the musician, right? Like, I wish I could just leave the system free for them. But I can't. And we are analyzing behavior. We launch some tools. We are analyzing how they like it, what they want us to do. We have a tricky thing. Reverb Nation and Sonic Beats kind of spoil the festivals and the venues, making the artists pay to play. And this is something that in my ethics is wrong, and it's a struggle like as a manager and as a musician, you know. Definitely the festivals brings the traction, right? So what we did to solve this, I could just go to a festival and say, okay, let's, I don't know, any festival outside lands or whatever, okay, let's do an application of $20. We will have, I don't know, 1 million bands applying. You will have 20 million. You know, I can do that. But what I did was, okay, let's do the application, but then let's offer a real workflow tool for festivals. So what we do, when a festival finishes the application in the system, we have as one step more, and is they can organize sound checks, lineups, transportation, and logistics with the festival team. So the curator curates the bands in the system, says, okay, I'm going to find these 5 or these 4. They can program it in the sound checks, lineups, and when they are ready, the curator of the festival shares the tech riders and all the information with the team, and everybody can just communicate inside the system. So we can actually, instead of charging the musician to apply into the festival, we can charge the festival to use the workflow tool. But this is something that we are figuring out with the behavior. We just launched 3 festivals. We have like a database of some festivals that are willing to communicate with the artists, but we already launched 3 festivals doing the application system in the tool. So we are getting the behavior and like making more perfect those features. So that is the idea. Not only the marketplace, but a workflow solution for the festival.
That's really smart. So you're offering them, like if you go with us instead of doing it through Sonic Bids or Reverb Nation, you're going to get these other tools and it's going to be really useful to you. That makes complete sense on how you could then attract festivals that way. I'm just curious, if there's no application fee for musicians, there's no real barrier to entry, why wouldn't everybody just apply to everything? And, you know, I think that that's kind of where the money helps, and that like, in order to be serious about applying for a festival, you need to invest a little bit of money because you think you're a good candidate, versus just, you know, kind of with Reverb Nation, there's a lot of these opportunities that are free, and then everybody just puts stuff out there even though they don't really qualify and they probably wouldn't be a good fit and all that. So how do you solve that problem?
That's why we did independent tools, and those are the ones that we want to monetize. We are analyzing if we do, okay, we give you 4 tech riders per month for $3 or things like that. We just, or me, like, I think that an artist should not be paying to play. I think it's like same as when they tell me, oh, you are chosen to pitch in this super event with VCs and you have to pay $2,000. I'm like, well, why? You know?
Yep.
Why? And I have to. So I think what we did was going a step further, make the applications free, and then charge for the other tools independently. But as I told you, we don't have enough usage of like 10,000 users yet to understand their behavior and say, okay, they just don't care and they want to play to pay to play. But what we did is we made a difference in the system. We have a feature that is called Perform, and the Perform we divided in 4. In the first two are gigs and the second touring. So gigs are actual contests from festivals. We are looking for a reggae act in California, blah, blah, blah. And then we send the email to the reggae artist in the system, okay, apply to this reggae festival because the deadline is X day. And in touring, we have a bunch of festivals and venues fixed. And what we do is helping the bands to connect with them. For example, I'm a band in California. I want to tour in Argentina. I go to touring, and then I put in the location Buenos Aires, and then I'll have 5 venues, 10 venues, 20 venues in Buenos Aires, and I can just send them an email. Hey, I'm a band from California. I'm thinking about a tour. Please let me play, and then start a communication. So we have 2 ways of connecting the artist with real application, and the other one is static venues where the artist can just reach out and connect.
I like that. I like that there's 2 different ways. That makes a lot of sense. And that they can apply for a specific thing at a festival. We're looking for a reggae band instead of just like any old thing. So I think that's going to be really helpful in weeding out the wrong people. Hopefully the artists respect that and don't apply when they're not a reggae band.
Yeah. No,
You know?
we can do that in the algorithm, because when the artist fills order profile, we can track their genres, locations, and everything. So we can just make it, put the limits. The other thing that I forgot to tell you is like we have been working very hard, and we are building an integration with the Spotify and YouTube, where I can give to the festival all the data of the artists, like where are they been played, like what is the demographics, and all the cities, the genres of the people that are listening to them. And then the festival will have also like an algorithm that predicts this is a perfect act for your request, and this is something that not the Sonic Beats doesn't have, or River Nation. It's like a real data on the fan behavior.
No, that's really useful. And I think on the music side, that's something that Music X-Ray has done that no one else has done. And I think has been really successful for them, is that they match artists with the people that are looking for that particular kind of artist and song. And so you're kind of doing something similar with that. And I think it's going to make you stand apart for sure.
Yes. It's awesome. A lot of work, though.
Yeah, I'll bet it is. And
oh my gosh, that
artificial intelligence and stuff.
Yeah, no, and we already have machine learning in the system, but that integration with the Spotify has been difficult. I was lucky that I was in Europe last week pitching for a Sonar festival. They have this is an advanced music festival, and they have this startup garden, and then they have investors, mentors, and one of the mentors was one person for the business side of Spotify. And I could, because I was having the problem that when a musician puts their Spotify as a band, the system was integrating all their personal playlists. So the festival was logging in, and then they said, okay, this is the band, but also their picnic playlist, their shower playlist, driving playlist. And then I had like 1 million of playlists, and I had to just take it out the system. So yeah, no, it's a lot of work. Every day that we add a feature or fix a bug, another bug happens. So it's just like going with the flow.
Yep, it goes along with software creation, which is not as easy as sometimes people make it sound, I'm sure. So can you let people know, like, is it free for artists to sign up now, and how do they go about doing that?
No, it's free now. Like, I don't know until when, maybe until when we got, I don't know, I want to have 20,000, 30,000 musicians, and yeah, they can go massiveact.com and just log in and create an account. Like, we receive the feedback that people want to have like several type of users, and we have very restricted now, because we have artist, venue, festival, agent, promoter, or talent buyer, and sound engineer. And sometimes a DJ is also a festival owner, or a sound engineer is an artist too. So we are working in the UX to make that happen, and people can have several profiles, and then open it for tour managers, roadies, stage managers, VJs, stylists, photographers. And when we have that marketplace set, that is not so difficult, because we already have the backend, we are gonna add brands and media to the ecosystem. That way, when the artist has the tour or 3 venues aligned, they can ask, okay, Red Bull, give me the tickets, or Airbnb, help me with the lodging, or Lyft or Uber, give me some rides, like we're gonna try to support not only the artists in the festivals with the sponsorships for the festivals too, so we can connect any beer or any brand or all those brands that support festivals. They can manage all the sponsorships and the publications in the system. But that is like in the roadmap far away.
Wow. I mean, those are some really great and grandiose ideas. And I'm sure, it'll take a while to get there, but I love the direction that you're going with that. Yes.
It's I don't know. It's been a struggle, but like I'm very happy because it's built.
Yes.
And that was the long route. Now everything is just, rainbows.
We'll see about that. But yeah, it's all downhill from here, probably.
Yeah.
For what you had to do to get it built. Well, you've been involved in the industry for a really long time. So I just wanted to ask you, I asked everybody this question. Do you have any resources that you would recommend other than Massive Act, of course, for artists to use or learn from, whether it's in music marketing, music business, self-development, books, blogs, podcasts? What do you find helpful to help artists learn?
So there is one guy that I really like what he's doing in his startup. Is called Sesh. He is in LA, Sesh.io, and he helps sound engineers and producers to connect. So when a band needs to record a song and they are not in their local town, they just go to Sesh and see what studios or producers or engineers are available for them to go and do the records. And the other one that I like is this guy is trying to implement the blockchain into he had a fight with some major, I don't remember if it was Capitol Records, and they never paid him with his project, his royalties, and he just started this blockchain startup, and people can find producers and produce songs in an iOS platform, like in the mobile, in the iPhone. They can produce songs, find the producer, it's pretty cool. What else? Those are the two that I like. Now, one of the winners of the Sonar pitch last week was a company from Germany called Sketch, and they analyze the way you play piano and recommend you, tactics or technique, how to make better your technique and in real time. And I thought that was pretty cool. What I recommend to the artists is just keep networking, go to events, go to the rehearsals room, try to find venues, stay active, always have a graphic designer in your band and someone visual, not only for your flyers and your albums and all those things, but for your show. It's pretty cool when a band goes to the stage with some visuals,
Yes.
And that's it. Use Massive Act, they can come, they can send me emails. We are built in based on your needs, so the more feedback we get, the better.
Absolutely. So how are they best to connect with you online other than massiveact.com?
My Twitter is Bogota Music Link. My Instagram is Caro Castilla V, and Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere. I'm super open everywhere.
Awesome. Well, you guys definitely go out and check massiveact.com. I think it can be a really useful tool for you. And obviously, if you get in on it in the early stages, you can help to shape it, and you can, just give your feedback and really help Carolina build it to be a place that is obviously what she's trying to do here is really help out musicians. So if you give her some feedback, that would be super helpful as well, and support her. So thank you so much, Carolina, for all the information that you provided. We really appreciate it.
Now go out and make great music, connect with your fans, and grow your business. Female Entrepreneur Musician has been brought to you by FEM173.com and FemaleMusicianAcademy.com. With editing by Jen Eads of 317 Sound Design and music by Stella Ronson.